So I guess my first question is, are you okay? You went through a lot in this movie, so I want to make sure that Luke is fine.
I'm 100% dandy.
You had me convinced.
Well, you know, it's, when you get into that place and start to, you know, I wrote it down one day, all the things he's dealing with, all these terrible experiences piling on top of each other during the film, you know. And then the revelation that he's been lied to by somebody else, you know, who was there to care and look after him. And, you know, it doesn't take much to get into that space once you've laid it out, you know. And it was actually a really good way to work it out, to be honest.
So you personally, are you a trusting guy? Like, because he gets duped in a way. Are you more cautious of people, or you tend to give them the benefit of the doubt?
I'm quite cautious of people. As I'm getting older, I'm more and more cautious.
You're getting cynical.
Well, we all do. It's part of getting old.
So how do you kind of, like, what's a good way? Obviously, this guy is pulled in this kind of downward spiral, in a way. How do you pull yourself up from there when you go through something?
What do you mean, as him or as in life?
In life.
If you were going through this stuff?
Yeah.
Well, you rely on the people that you love and the people that are in your life and your support network. We've all got a support network, whether it's a large one or a small one. And I have quite a small group of friends who I would turn to in a situation that would be like this. You know, I definitely turn to my friends. Scott doesn't seem to have many people in his life like that. I think his life sort of revolved around Megan. So it makes him even more vulnerable in a way and lost and confused.
Let's talk about, like, translating the book to film. Had you read the book before? And also, what are kind of the key elements that you need to have to make a great film from a book?
No, I hadn't read the book before I read the script, but I was obviously very aware of it. It's impossible to not be aware of this unless you was living under a rock for the last 2.5 years. I've been on a few holidays this year, and every time the group that I'm with, somebody, at least one person has been reading this book. What makes a good thriller? Well, I guess it's to do with suspense, I think. It keeps you thinking. This is a very, very psychological story. So it doesn't spoon feed you the facts. You have to work it out yourself. In fact, I felt very often in the film like I was on a jury, and that I was having to work out who was to blame, and it kept changing. You know, what's great is you see colors of different people's personalities throughout the film, and you think you've made an assumption, a correct assumption, and it absolutely gets turned on its head. And I think Paula Hawkins did an extremely good job by writing a film which unravels very unconventionally, so you don't at any point really have a grasp on who or why or where or when, which is, I think, a good. That's the quality of a good thriller, I think.
Yeah, I was like, you know, there is a twist in the film which I had no idea about, and I was like,
is that when I do the twist?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
just like that.
Moment of it.
Yeah, it was a comedic beat, what I like to call. I guess my final question: did it change your opinion about drinking? Because seeing her so wasted all the time, I was like, maybe I don't need a margarita when I get out of this thing.
I think if that water bottle was full of a margarita, I would have been totally fine. But she was drinking straight vodka, which has no taste to it. I mean, it's disgusting. So why didn't she just put a little mixer in with it, you know? A couple of slices of lime, you know? I don't know why.
Cranberry juice?
Would have been great.
Yeah.
But no, she was on the hard liquor and drinking it from a water bottle. Yeah, I mean, on a serious note, alcoholism is so common. People are addicted to it, you know, and it's easy, it's accessible, and it can be used when people are in their lowest moments. And Rachel is in her lowest moment, and she's turned to what is the easiest drug to access, and it's legal, you know. So it's nothing to be sniffed at to see this woman and what she's going through. It's a very topical and very common thing. So
thank you, Luke, so much. Thank you.